A pursuit of 4 trophies has already come into just 2. Are the wheels completely falling off for Arsenal? We're going to get stuck into their title race situation, as well as relegation, managers in perilous positions, and tips on every single Premier League game this weekend. It's all happening over at the Stakehouse. I'm Conor McCabe, joined as ever by my co-pilot Lucas Dzinski. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. Finally, Premier League back now. It's a bit
It's
of a
been
weird one.
ages.
Yeah, but this is the first time there's been no games last week because all the Prem teams were in the cup, right? It's never happened.
Yeah.
I can't remember last time it's happened before. So, I
I've
mean,
been climbing the walls. You know that Steve Holland was saying at United. He's saying that this is the longest ever gap between two of United's Premier League games in like
yeah, it's
forever.
almost like a mini pre-season for some teams, right? Because they would have come back from international break and had an extra like bit more than a week, right?
Yeah, 100%. Anyway, thank God we're in the position we're in and we have it all to look forward to. Let's get stuck in. First of all, we've got Friday night football just a few hours away from us now. So
Yeah.
get you listening in quick. It's West Ham versus Wolves. Is this must win for West Ham to stay up?
Yeah, I mean, 1,000%. I mean, look, if they don't win this, I don't think. I mean, look, they need to win this to. Obviously, they need to win this to get some points, but I don't think if they don't win this, they're not in trouble because there's still quite a few games to go. But obviously, this is the best chance they're going to get to get 3 points. But Wolves have gone on a bit of a run of late. They got some really good results, and I'm back in Burnley to finish bottom. I got them on at, was it fives or sixes?
You
Kind
got
of like
fives. I ended
a
up putting
few
it on at
few months ago. So
4.5.
like, I'm hoping they get something, but I think West Ham are going to win this. They completely smashed Leeds up, to be honest, in the cup game. They were unfortunate not to go through. They got the goals quite late on, but yeah,
Showed
they
good
created the
spirit in
better
that game.
chances. Huh?
Showed really good spirit in that game to carry on to the very
Yeah,
end as
yeah. Look,
well.
there was some good atmosphere towards the end from the West Ham fans. So look, Friday night they're all going to be on the booze early on. So look, I think there'll be good atmosphere, and it is. I guess you can say it is a must win for them. But
I
saying
agree.
that, I don't think there's much value in the price. Got West Ham like 1.8 to win, so that's probably about right.
Particularly as Wolves are on an upward curve. But I mean, I agree with you. The phrase "must win" is thrown around very liberally and too often. But if there's ever a definition of a game that is must win, it's this one. West Ham have to win this game if they're planning on staying up. Not just from a points perspective, but from the fixtures. This is comfortably
Yeah,
these are winnable games, but this is comfortably their easiest. But also from a mentality perspective, you don't beat the bottom side at home, it just you just go away from it thinking massive missed opportunity. So West Ham have to get over the line. I think it'll be tight. I think it'll be nervy. I think it'll be edgy. I'm inclined to go West Ham by 1 goal, by the odd goal, but no official bet. But I hope West Ham do because it needs it for an ever more dramatic relegation run in. Let's move on and talk about the other end of the table. We've got Arsenal versus Bournemouth. I mean, I'll start on Arsenal because I watched the sporting game with my dad up in Sheffield this week, and honest to God, it was like watching paint dry.
yeah,
It is
yeah, yeah.
such a dull game. And it sounds bitter when you talk about it, and I want to make clear at the start, I'm not bitter about Arsenal. I'm not a massive fan of them, but I'm not bitter. They deserve to win the league. I think they're going to win the league. They have been the best team in England. Their recruitment has been pretty good. The club is doing an awful lot right to set itself up for the long haul of success. However, the football that they play is mind-numbing. I can't remember the last time Arsenal played well. And I challenge anyone listening to this to come to me and go, Connell, you're completely wrong because they played well in this game or that. I can't remember. They are so unbelievably efficient, right? But I can't remember the last time that I watched an Arsenal game and thought, you know what, Arsenal just took them to the cleaners. They just beat them. Every single game, it's like they just get over the line. It's a bit time wasty. It's a bit niggly. There's lots of breaking up of play. There's lots of talking to the referee, and they win it by an odd goal, usually a set piece. I mean, this is just what it's become now. And again, it's working for them. It's a tried and tested formula. But from a perspective of watching it and from an excitement perspective, it is so tough. And it's such a weird catch-22. If I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm loving it. If I'm any other fan in the world, it's just not what you want to see. And in this game, right, Bournemouth are outperforming their XG. Bournemouth should have conceded 11 goals across the last 3 games. So you're inclined to think with Arsenal's firepower, they could actually go over here and win comfortably at home. But they won't. There's no chance, right? There's no way Arsenal will score more than 2 goals in this game. They probably won't score 2. They'll probably score 1 and win it, right? So ultimately, don't be afraid of backing with teams in the run-in against Arsenal. When you're looking at opposition teams +2 and markets like that, I genuinely think they're quite a good option, because Arsenal, if you offered Arsenal 7-1-0 wins for the rest of the season, they'd snap your hand off. So I think it's quite a nice thing to keep in consideration when you're looking at Arsenal games, is what I guess what I'm trying to say, because rather than get frustrated about it, how can we exploit it from a betting perspective, right? And I think Arsenal will get over the line here narrowly. What do you think?
I really hope it's going to be a banana skin. I think Bournemouth have played really good at times, but again, have been quite inconsistent. I wasn't really impressed with Arsenal against Sporting. I think they were quite fortunate to go away with a 1-0 win there. I think there might be a bit of value on Bournemouth +1.25, but not enough for me to be backing it. So happy just to sit and watch that one early kick-off and pray for a Arsenal downfall.
I mean, Mikel, just for me, just one game before the end of the season, just say, you know what, we're just going to play some football. That'd be lovely. Just do that. Or not, and win the league anyway. Anyway, let's move on and talk about Brentford-Everton. The Stakehouse will be out in force at this one. Looking forward to getting back to the G-Tech, I've got to say. Are they going to reward us with a home win?
I'm a bit on the fence on this. I think there's some value on Brentford -quarter, but the prices started coming in a bit. It was at 1.92, 9.93 yesterday, but it's coming into 1.88. So there's still a bit of value, probably not enough for me to jump on it. But I wouldn't. To be honest, like on the day, I might just go ahead and get off the fence and do -quarter, which will mean if it's a draw, you get half money back. It's going to be a tough game. Brentford have been a bit hit and miss in recent weeks. I think we played all right against Leeds away, but then obviously that game at Wolves, that was a bit of a disaster. And Everton, last 5-6 games, they've been playing really well, getting some results. So it's going to be a decent game. And if Brentford want to get to some kind of European football next season, we need to win this game. It's a must win. So it should be entertaining.
For sure, and we're starting on the beers from 12:30, so absolutely no doubt that come 20 to 3, the bet will be...
There'll be a Brentford -2.
Just joking, people. Do not drink and gamble. It never, ever ends well. I mean, I'm personally a little bit sceptical. I think Everton are a good side away from home. I actually think David Moyes should be in the conversation for Manager of the Year. Just putting it out there. No way Arteta should get it. No way any of the top managers can really lay claim to it. The closest might even be Carrick, but he's only been there half the season, so you can't really consider him. I think for me it's between Andrews, Moyes and Reggie Labrie at Sunderland.
Yeah.
Andrews, as good as a job he's done, he's been brilliant. I do think the way that Brentford is set up, I think the club actually deserve a little bit more credit than he does.
Yeah, of course.
In terms of the other two, maybe you have to give it to Labrie, the fact that he's adapted so well to the Prem and moulded an almost an entirely new team together. So I'll probably give it to him, but I would say that Moyes has done an unbelievable job in terms of bringing Everton from relegation fodder every year, looking to still with an outside chance of Champions League, by the way. So both of these sides, this is a big game.
But do you know
is further ahead right now? That's a great question, and this game will answer that question, I think.
Go on, continue.
No, that was it. That was the end of it.
Oh, Everton are, as in terms of goals against, expected goals against. They've actually conceded 10 goals less than expected.
Wow. Okay.
That's massive.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the most in the league so far. Sunderland are close second, and then after that it's Villa. So
Is
look,
that something? Is
they've
that
been
something for England fans to get excited about in terms of Jordan Pickford being a safe pair of hands this World Cup?
perhaps, yeah, or he's been quite fortunate so far, and it's all going to come to a downfall. Not a downfall, but regression to the mean. Right, he's going to catch up with him, and maybe this might be the game where Brentford smash up at Everton. Who knows?
Possibly. I do think he's a great keeper, I have to say, but absolutely possible. Let's move on. Let's not take too much time on this
Yeah,
one, I don't think. Burnley versus Brighton. Probably a pretty dull game.
1-0
Brighton
Brighton.
seem Brighton probably nick it.
Yeah.
Um, but at 8 to 11, I'm probably not touching it. I think it's a leave for us. So
Oh,
we shall move on because next we have my first official tip, which comes Liverpool versus Fulham.
yep.
You have to say Arne Slot has been coming under a lot of stick recently, and rightly so. He's not been, I know he's won the league and he's got a lot of credit in the bank. For me, he's still got some, but fans aren't happy with the way he's set up. The setup at PSG was a bit contradicting
Horrendous. Yeah.
because you play five at the back, but then you have your three centre halves man marking, and all of a sudden you've got Doué and Kvaratskhelia pulling right to the touchline. So all of a sudden you've just got one centre back in Van Dijk who's nearly 35 years old, who's effectively trying to do three or four people's jobs. So the setup didn't work, and Slot has to take responsibility for that, and maybe a little bit on the motivational side, as Jamie Carragher says a lot. Liverpool are sleepwalking through games. I still put it down mainly to the fact that they lost so many key players in the summer. You look at Jota, you look at Diaz, Trent, and ultimately you spend 500 million trying to replace them. And when 260 of it in the form of Wirtz and Isak doesn't work out, any club's going to take a hit. The recruitment was wrong with those two players. I mean, the centre back was the most important position. They didn't go and fill that. Maybe even two centre backs.
Well, the
And
whole
really,
Gahey thing, right? Like Gahey was
yeah,
on
I mean, that was
point
just
and didn't.
massive error. Just go and pay the 35 million or whatever it was that Palace were asking for. It's crazy. But just on terms of those two players, whereas I think Isak is a little bit unlucky because he got a lot of flack over his transfer and then he got injured. Florian Wirtz is really disappointing, right? At 130 million. And I did call this before the season. I don't mind the first half of the season where he does nothing because he's still adapting and he needs to strengthen upper body and all this kind of thing. But then after Christmas, he has like 3 or 4 games of producing. And you're thinking, right, kick on, off you go. And then in the last 2 months, we've seen literally nothing from Florian Wirtz. So that is ultra disappointing. And that's 130 million on him. Maybe the two of them will work out, but they certainly haven't this season. I personally think that is as much to blame, the recruitment, as Arne Slot is. But Liverpool are struggling. They're not quite out of the tie with PSG, which means that is probably their primary, well, not their primary focus, but a very important focus. This home game with Fulham, they do not need. And Fulham is a banana skin for big teams at the best of times. To have Liverpool 8 to 13 on at home here is crazy for me. I think the price is just too low. It's as simple as that. More than happy to take that on. If you want to play a little bit safer, as Lucas probably would in this spot, he might advocate Fulham on the Asian handicap. I'm going all out. I think Fulham can go to Anfield and win this game. So Fulham around about 5.3 available on the exchanges last check. I'm just putting that forward as my first official tip.
I got nothing. I don't think there's much value, to be honest. I expect Liverpool to win this, but yeah, who knows? We'll see.
Okay.
It's a must win for them.
It is. I agree, but I just think they're
Yeah,
kind of
I
15
can see a banana skin happening.
15 lost games this season. Would number
Yeah.
16 really shock anybody? I think the 5.3 price suggests it's
Yep.
worth a tickle. Let's move on and talk about Sunday's fixtures. We start at the Bridge with a huge one between Chelsea and Man City. Will Enzo be texting Real Madrid hierarchy while sat on the bench? Sorry, while sat in the stands? Or, what do you think he'll be up to?
He'll be at home watching it, I reckon. Nah,
Uh,
he's going to be in the stands. Yeah, yeah, a bit weird. I don't think that's happened before. Usually when like a player comes out saying he wants to join another team or anything like that, I don't think there's been like any manager come out saying, "Oh, okay, that guy's not playing for the next 2 games now." Do you know what I mean? It's almost like a set punishment they had in mind and just like enforced it.
I'll tell you why I think it happened. It's because it's not the only thing he said. The other thing he did was say he couldn't believe Maresca got sacked. So effectively, he attacked his own hierarchy. I think that's why he got the ban because Cucurella talked up
Oh,
Barcelona.
sorry, you said that as well. Okay, I wasn't aware of
Yeah,
that. Oh, okay.
Cucurella, but no one else caught this. By the way, they all think it's Chelsea hierarchy have banned
Yeah,
Enzo, but not Cucurella, even though they did the same thing. It's
yeah,
not. Enzo also said that he doesn't think that they should have sacked Maresca, and Cucurella has obviously done the same thing in terms of the positioning himself for another team. But I think that's why Enzo got banned. So I can see why they did it.
yeah.
But ultimately, a lot of Chelsea fans are coming out and saying, "Oh, Enzo is not that important a player anyway."
I thought he is. I thought he's the key
I,
player.
I agree. Like Caicedo aside, whose levels dropped this season, but Enzo is a
Yeah,
massive player for Chelsea. He's popped up with so many important goals, including, by the way, against City in the reverse fixture when he scored late to get them a draw.
yeah.
I think he's really good at arriving late into the box. So I think he's a miss. In terms of this game, I think Chelsea's schedule is catching up on them. So you think back to the Club World Cup in the summer, which was a great achievement. They didn't really get the same summer that other sides did, and it was never going to impact them early. It's now that is going to impact them, and I see a drop off from Chelsea from now to the end of the season. City have to win this game. It's massive for them. City, if they want to catch
Yeah, I
Arsenal,
mean, Chelsea need to win this as well.
they do. But if City want any chance of winning the title, right? I don't think they've got a chance, by the way. But if they want any chance, they must win every single game. There's no room for any error whatsoever. So they have to go to Chelsea and win. I think it's borderline. I wouldn't put my money on it. But I do think City will edge it. I'm going to say 2-1 City in this game.
Really, with all the faults that they're currently at Chelsea, I think there's some value back in Chelsea plus a quarter,
Okay.
based on my numbers. That yeah, Chelsea have kind of turned the page a bit recently, but you just yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know how long that's going to continue. Right, they've been so poor all season. Like,
Yeah.
if that could that continue? I still think there's a bit of value on Chelsea. Like, wouldn't mind having a punt. Like, I mean, look, they're at home, 3.2 at home. It's quite high.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
You can get plus a quarter evens, right? So if it's a draw, you get half win. Look, I mean, I'd be over the moon if City win, to be honest. So maybe it's a bit of an emotional hedge. If it's a draw, at least you get some money back in it.
No prizes for guessing who Lucas doesn't want to win the league. But there you go, another official tip. There's another official tip in the next game, and it's going to make you laugh. It's Sunderland versus Tottenham.
Sunderland, back in Sunderland.
Quick note on the De Zerbi appointment. I think it's a great appointment. I was worried that we're going to go down another temporary route and kind of just become even more of a circus, but they haven't done that. They've gone and got the best possible manager they could. And a lot of people I'm hearing saying things like, "Oh, De Zerbi's not set out for a relegation fight," and all of this kind of stuff. And it's like, the bottom line is De Zerbi's a great manager. He's fiery. He won't get on with everybody. He'll rub some people up the wrong way. But when push comes to shove, he is a great manager, and he's a great appointment for Tottenham, particularly considering their current plight. And what great managers are is adaptable. De Zerbi is a pioneer of certain styles of football, and there's no doubt whatsoever he will figure a way through this. And I think that appointment has quite possibly not just saved their season, but given them a real lift heading into next year, where I don't expect them to be around the same spot. So I'm positive about this appointment. I like it. I think the Spurs hierarchy have paid the money for it. They've gone and done the right thing, because if he keeps them up, and I believe he will, probably needs 2 wins and a draw from the last 7 to guarantee survival, then I think he will be worth his weight in goals, and I think that's what will happen. Sunderland have had a great season, but as is the case with a lot of promoted sides around this time of the season, they've started to tail off as the demands really catch up with them. They went so long unbeaten at home. They have now lost at home. They are completely safe. And I think the Spurs, who have got so much more to play for here, the Spurs away win at around 2.85 on the exchanges is going to be an official tip. There's the new manager bounce to counter into that as well. I'm happy to take a swing at that price.
I don't buy that.
I don't have Sunderland as favourites for this game.
I have Sunderland as I do have Sunderland as favourites. I think there's value on Sunderland. Look, I understand you're the new manager bounce and all that, but the team is such a mess. It's going to take more than 1 week to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So I think Sunderland still a bit of value here at 0. So basically draw no bet and 1.95. So yeah, get a draw, get your money back. I can't see Tottenham winning this.
Okay.
I think a bit too soon for this.
There you go. The Stakehouse going head to head for a change. Let's see who comes out on this top this time. Nottingham Forest versus Aston Villa. Both of these sides got great results last night in Europe, so well done to both.
Well,
albeit
Forest. I mean, they got smashed
with the most ridiculous own goal that
Yeah,
I have seen in a long time. So yeah, I think that both sides will be very focused on the return legs, although both still have a lot to play for in the Prem as well. So I don't know. I feel like this game has got draw written all over it. I'm not 100% sure why, but yeah, that's what I think.
I mean, yeah, Forest need to get something out of this, right?
Yeah.
So playing at home. So yeah, I mean, I think a draw for them will be quite good here.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Not an awful lot more to suggest. That one I think is a very dicey one, tough to call.
Yeah.
I don't think a draw would be the worst result for either side, and I think that's how it'll finish. Let's talk about Palace versus Newcastle. I've got a bet on this one. Palace are all eggs in the Conference League basket now. Great result last night against Fiorentina.
Yeah.
Very little to play for in the Prem. Against my prediction in the season, they are now safe. Glasner has done well.
Oh yeah, they're going down.
Well, there was a point where it almost came to fruition there. But they're safe, and they have literally nothing to play for in the Prem. In terms of Newcastle, to be a little bit blunt for a moment, the only reason that Eddie Howe is still in a job is because he's so likeable.
Is he likeable?
Yes.
I don't think a lot of the Geordies like him anymore, no?
They don't. They're dissatisfied with how the team is doing. But I think most of them, if you ask them, do you like Eddie Howe as a person, the answer would be yes.
Oh yeah, I mean, everyone there's not many people that you don't like as a person, right?
Well, yeah, but there's some that are more likable than others. And a good example is Arne Slot at Liverpool. He's not overly likable, and it doesn't help him in terms of keeping the fans on side. Whereas with Eddie Howe, he is likable, and very humble, and very friendly towards the fans, all this sort of stuff. Like, he just comes across really well and like a really nice guy. And he's obviously put a lot of time, effort in at Newcastle. However, he's being found out. Like, he's not an elite manager. He's done really well to win their trophy drought. He did well to get them into the Champions League, but he's not been able to follow up season after season. And a lot of people will point to financial fair play and say that Newcastle are hamstrung with regards to what they can do in the market. Yes and no. Obviously a little bit, but the bottom line is, if you look at their team, there's not many weaknesses. Yes,
and also, financial fair play. They spent 200 mil.
This is it. So they
on plays that don't even start. So this whole financial fair play is just complete nonsense.
It's not complete nonsense. There's something behind it, right? But they did.
Yeah, but if you keep whining about it, but you've literally spent 200 mil on players that don't even start.
And why is that happening?
Yeah, there you go.
Question, right? But ultimately, they. So yes, they lost Isak, but yes, they spent the same money replacing him. If you look at their midfield, for example, right now, Tonali, who won't be there much longer. But anyway, right now, you look at Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes, and Joe Linton, for example, as a potential starting midfield three. That's amongst the best in the Prem.
Yeah.
Right?
Solid.
You look at, the two strikers aren't short of ability. We know that. They've proven it. You've got the wide men in terms of the likes of Anthony Gordon, who would get into most starting lineups in the Premier League. You look at Sven Botman, who's just signed a new contract at the back, not a bad player. You look at their fullbacks, Hall and Livramento.
Hall will be off.
There's not many weaknesses in that side. And I'm a little bit disappointed with them in terms of where they are. And again, I think Eddie Howe has to take responsibility on that. I don't think he's good enough to get Newcastle to become a more established top four side. And it's going to be more one season on, one season off sort of approach. Also, last thing on him, he did this at Bournemouth where he did an unbelievable job as well. But then
And
by
then
the
he
end of,
stopped
end
towards
of
the
year
end. Yeah,
three
yeah,
in the Prem, he'd burnt out. He was
yeah,
gone.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think he's at the same level. In terms of this game, my tip is, and for that reason, I think both clubs are in a pretty uninspiring position when it comes to looking at this game. And I think it will be low scoring. So I'm happy. The odds suggest over 2.5 goals is the play. So I'm going the other way. Under 2.5 is at 2.15, which I'm putting forward as official tip.
Yeah. Look, I haven't got much this game. I feel like on paper, like Palace are the better team and there's value, but look, the price is. It turns out the price is being inflated because of the motivation, right? Like, there's going to be a lot of players being rested. They've already said Mateta's going to be rested this game. I mean, Larsson's a good backup, I'd say. Probably just as good as Mateta, but look, the squad's so thin, you'd imagine there's going to be a few people being rested. Like Wharton's probably going to get rested. I don't know, maybe some of the full-backs, centre-backs, they don't really have any replacements, so I expect a rotation.
Yep, agree. Which will then make a little bit of a disjointed game potentially.
Yeah.
Okay, last of all, but certainly not least, it's the mighty Red Devils at home to Leeds as we continue our charge towards the Champions League, full steam ahead. This should be pretty feisty, right?
It's big rivalry. Monday night football as well.
Yeah.
Leeds have got quite a few injuries though now, so I think United will win this game. I can't see Leeds getting anything out of it, to be honest.
Cool. I mean, look, in terms of the score, I don't have much of a prediction. These Leeds will be bang up for this. It's their game of the season now. They hate us.
Yeah, but like
So it
at
wouldn't
home,
Yeah, which helps. I'm just saying, wouldn't surprise me if this was an exciting 2-2 draw or something. But I'm not going. I'm not going to play the score markets. I want to play the player markets in this one.
yeah,
And somebody called Jaden Bogle for Leeds, who plays in their wing back system. Um,
yeah,
but their wing backs are really exciting. So I've watched quite a few Leeds games recently, and you'll be amazed at how often the likes of Bogle and to a smaller extent Justin on the other side end up in basically the centre forward position.
yeah, yeah,
They're,
yeah.
they're literally all over the shop, these boys. It's all action. It's actually a lot of fun to watch. So really like what Daniel Farke is trying to do, and I don't think it gets enough credit actually. But because of that mantra, I feel like Bogle's shots on target markets haven't adapted to his roaming, let's say. And therefore, I think Leeds can still have quite a bit of joy against United going the other way. And Bogle's shot and target price is 5.0. That's with safe sub. So that covers you if Leeds end up chasing the game and maybe bring him off for a striker later on, or any of these things you covered with the new striker. So 5.0, I think that's a very fair price. So I'm happy to have a swing on Jaden Bogle for one shot
No
on.
Maguire suspended.
Yep, no suspended, but has just signed a new contract. So
Has he?
onward,
Until when?
onward. Say again?
Until when?
Just a 1 year extension.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, I think it's a good move.
1 year,
Okay.
1 year extension is good.
In terms of continuity, and
Yeah.
also a nod to the fact that Carrick might get the job, by the way. Who, as Maguire has played every minute since Carrick came in. Make of that what you will. Let's do a recap. What have you got?
Brentford minus a quarter, I like 1.88. Sunderland 0, so draw no bet 1.95, and Chelsea plus a quarter at evens.
Cool. I have
3
got
and 3
Palace.
this week.
Cool. I've got Palace Newcastle to be under 2.5 goals at around about 2.15 on the exchanges. I've got Fulham to win away at Liverpool at 5.3. Again, if you want to play the Asian markets for that one instead and get around even money, then you can do that. I have got Jaden Bogle to have a shot on target at 5.0 on 365. And for my sins, I have backed Spurs to win away at Sunderland at 2.85. Look forward to the slandering. But look forward more to the football being back The Premier League is back, not for very long. We've only got 7 games to go. Make sure that you do your fantasy teams ahead of the early kickoff tonight.
Why are you reminding people?
Are you having as bad a year as me, yeah? But anyway, enjoy your football, everyone. We'll see you next week. Take care of yourselves.
Cheers.